Chris McDonough from the interview room did a video yesterday. He was driving and his wife was filming, and he did a short on Juneteenth, and he said he was heading back home from spending a few days at Nancy's.
We have spent on the ground time at Nancy Guthrie's, and I've got some stuff that's going to blow your mind.
Da, da, da. All the streamers were excited, even though they ran them out of there and they let Chris in. They were like, oh my God, Chris is a good guy. Chris likes the streamers like him. And he said he has more evidence that nobody has ever heard of or seen. Now, he doesn't do clickbait, and he's the one that always have a panel of other former law enforcement. They're very knowledgeable. I teased one time and said they're reliving their glory days. In any case, the first question is, was it Chris that was in the house that night that Lauren, Nancy's acquaintance, went by and saw lights on in the big house and lights on in the casita? We asked this question before, and I believe we got that it was Annie that was at the house. I think. I gotta go back and watch my videos before I read again. Remember that tarot, Lenormand, and oracle cards are only for entertainment purposes only, and remember that I'm learning. So be kind. If I get it wrong, be kind. Because you see, when I get it right, I don't come back and show off. I'm like, I think we got this one right? So there we go. I wouldn't come back and show off anyways, because I know that these are like, they're cards, right? They're cards. Strength, courage, patience, inner power. Who invited Chris there? I'm sure that it wasn't Pima County and Sheriff Nanos, because Chris, I was going to say Sheriff Nanos, Chris has spoken badly about the sheriff. At first he wasn't. At first he was trying to have respect because it's law enforcement to law enforcement. But then when he saw some stuff, he's like, I gotta say this. Because he didn't like when the sheriff came out and said, I have a few talking points from the family. That was like in the second press conference. Celebration, homecoming, community. Are we gonna get good news in this case? The question was it Chris that was at the house? 8 of Cups, walking away, withdrawal, abandonment. So this card right here is telling me that this case is kind of becoming cold, because I hear that Chris has an organization. You know, he's not just a YouTuber now. He has an organization where people will invite him in to try to help them solve cold cases. That's what I heard. I don't know if that's true. Why did Tommaso show up? Did Tommaso let him in? Did he go in the house? That's what we're asking. And if he did, was it the family that let him in? Solitude, inner journey, introspection. The family is in hiding. That's one of my questions. Where is Annie and Tommaso? Oh my goodness. Did I show you guys what we don't see coming? No, I didn't show you. You see it first. Thank God I remembered. 4 swords. Rest, recover, reflection, retreat. Hi guys. Let me see if Joe will come sit with me. You come sit with me, babe? Come sit with me? I'm asking the question. 2 minutes? Okay, I'm asking the question. You remind me of Patriot Pride. When Joe, this guy Adam from Patriot Pride, he has his friend Mike that does his show with him. They do true crime. And callers are always calling in to give their 2 cents or ask questions. And I swear every time he says 1 more call, 2 more call, Mike wants to stone him in his head because he never stops. He's like me. Adam reminds me of me and Mike reminds me of you. So I asked the question, was it Chris McDonough, the former retired police detective that was in the house when the lights were on? These are the cards that I got. The strength card, which is about strength and power and stuff. The 4 of Wands is about celebration. The 8 of Cups is about walking away from what no longer serves, abandonment. The Knight of Cups is what I gave to Tommaso, the son-in-law, so he popped up in there. So I feel like if Chris was in the house, Tommaso let him in, which would mean the family is the one that's hiring Chris to look into this. So what does that mean? Does that mean they don't have Miss Nancy? Because I really do believe they have Miss Nancy. And then the Hermit is about being kind of like reclusive. Right. And then this is what we don't see coming. The 4 of Swords is about rest, recover, reflection, retreat. Some people think this is the Death card in the Minor Arcana. What's your initial vibe?
Well, the way I look at it, if they don't have Miss Nancy, why did they try to stop people from looking and things like that?
Okay, that's a good question. So to follow up that question, I want to know, why did they stop looking for her on day 2? Law enforcement. The sheriff said, I was at the house the night the night before. People think that he misspoke. I think he slipped up and he said something he shouldn't have said. They got the call supposedly on the afternoon of the 1st, which was a Sunday, February 1st. They looked for her till nightfall. They can't search too much at night. They picked up the search the next day and then they ended the search. Why do you think they ended the search like that?
Because they find her, they know where she at.
Do you think they found her dead?
Well, I don't know if they find her dead or alive, but they know.
They know.
Right.
Okay, so the next question was, do they really know where she's at? But I wasn't asking if the family knew, I was asking if law enforcement knew. And the reason why I asked it that way is because this former or retired FBI agent, Jennifer Coffindaffer, I don't like that lady. I don't like the way she presents her evidence. She has not left room at all for the family to be guilty. And I don't feel like we should just blame the family and stick on that, right, Joe? But at least leave room to investigate them. Because if I go missing and they investigate Joe and the kids, that's fair play. You know, because look at some families are devious and they do things to hurt each other, right? So she don't want to hear nothing about the family at all. And then she pretends to defend the streamers and then she bashes them. So I don't like her. But Brenda sent me something this morning where she said that in her 25 years of being in the FBI, she can see how the case is unfolding. She don't have no evidence that we don't have, right? And she said that she feels like law enforcement already know who the perp is and they just haven't arrested the perp yet, and she doesn't know why. So to go along with the way Joe said it just now, the question was, do they really know where she is? And I was asking about law enforcement. So we're going to pull 5 cards quickly to answer that question, and then we'll ask it the way Joe meant it when Joe says they, meaning the family.
The family plus the police.
Plus the police. Okay, we're going to ask it 2 times though. All right, so let's pull 5 cards. Does law enforcement know where Miss Nancy is, why they stopped looking for her on day 2? Remember on day 10, they found an 84-year-old in the desert and they helicoptered her to the hospital and she was alive and talking. And law enforcement at first tried to say that didn't happen, but they know that the guys heard it on the scanner. After that, they started to encrypt the scanner. And then later they said that she had nothing to do with the case. But I keep saying that if it was me that was found in the desert, Joe would have come out already, or the kids would have come out to the news and say, it was my mom, it was my wife, it wasn't Miss Nancy. If it was our mom, we would have come out and go, it was our mom. How come the Uber driver is not talking? We asked that already, right? So 5 of Swords is the first. They're fighting. We're asking about law enforcement. They're fighting between each other. The Pima County people are fighting with the FBI. The 9 of Swords, anxiety, guilt, depression, nightmares. Yeah, they're stressed. They're fighting and they're stressed. This is law enforcement. Hope, healing, guidance, inspiration, the Star. Something's gonna come out. Evie, come here. Come here. Come here, baby. The Sun. If the Star didn't tell us that something was going to come out, the Sun hella told us something's going to come out. And then the 4 of Swords, which is about rest, recovery, reflection, retreat. We got that already, right? And then the Emperor. The Emperor is the sheriff. They know.
They know, I tell you.
They know.
They know.
They know.
Both sides know. The family know. The law enforcement know. Mm-hmm. That's why they try to drive away everybody from investing in stuff. Investigating.
Do you think we have to pull cards to ask if the family knows? You think you're satisfied with what I pulled just now that
You
they
can
all
pull
know?
it and see, but
Pull
I
it
know.
and see? Pull it and see?
But I know they know.
Because we have more questions to go and he only give me 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
1 minute 59 seconds. That's what the preacher said at the funeral, right? The preacher said you can come and give reflections, but you can only speak for 1 minute 59 seconds. Because she knew that people like to go up there and talk forever, right? Tell long time story. I told 3 stories, but I told that under 2 minutes, right, Joe? My stories were fast because I follow the rules.
You could have stayed longer because nobody wanted to.
Nobody wanted to go. That's why I went up. And my stories were quick. I'm like, let me tell you a quick story about Norman.
You opened the floor for everybody else.
Yeah. And I'm like, ever since my son was 6 years old, he was the one that had my son on his lap teaching him computers. And I asked him, please don't let the boy mess up your computer because I can't pay for it. And he says, what can he mess up that I can't go in the BIOS on fix? And he taught my son, and now my son's going to be 37. Well, he turned 37 a few days ago. And he knows how to build and repair a computer because of Norman. Next one, Norman wanted to cut and offer Joe some watermelon one day when we were at the house, and his wife yelled from the living room, make sure that you put it in a container and put it in the fridge. And he goes, never mind, we don't need that watermelon again. And the next one was when we took Jada to the computer show when she was 3 and we had her on a leash on her wrist. He walked in and said, what we're not going to do is put my baby on no leash. I'm going to hold her hand and carry her when I have to. Quick stories. That was quick, right? And I was done. I was like, yeah. All right, so the question is, does the family know? Joe thinks all of them know. So, 7 of Cups. We always got this when we were reading on Miss Nancy when we first started. Illusions, delusions. I think that card alone tells us, yes, the family knows. 6 of Pentacles, generosity, giving and receiving help. Miss Nancy was probably helping some family member. You know, strength. Here comes the strength again. What am I? That's why she's banging down the door. Her mother's eating. 6 of Wands, success, public recognition, achievement. It's gonna come out.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna definitely come out. This is not gonna grow cold and sit there. Queen of Cups. This is Annie. Remember we gave Annie the Queen of Cups. I used to like give her the Queen of Wands, I believe, but she's the Queen of Cups because she has psychic abilities. I do believe Annie has psychic abilities. And then what we don't see coming is the Ace of Wands, inspiration, new opportunities, growth. Savannah already got a new opportunity. She's doing a game show over there in England, Wordle or whatever. So are they going to get new opportunities, Annie and Tommaso? Right? Are they going to get in on the pie too? Because I really do believe that if they are involved, they were convinced to get involved. I don't think they came up with this idea. I think if the family did it, Tommaso hired all those riffraffs to do it. The guy in Rio Rico, the other one that they got the Range Rover. I'm purposely not calling their names. And remember that what I'm doing here, Tarot, Lenormand, and Oracle is for entertainment purposes only, okay? So I think if the family did it, Tommaso hired all those people to do it, and I think they got scared and didn't want her to like die on them, so they dropped her in the desert, and that's where they found her on day 10. They called it in. But that, you know, that makes a lot of sense to me, but it still doesn't make any sense why they stopped searching on day 2. I can't reconcile those two. If they found her on day 10, why did they stop searching on day 2? Do you think because the sheriff knew from the beginning what they were planning to do? Because remember he said he was there the night before, right? So they knew that they had her in safe hands. Oh, crap. That makes sense. If the sheriff is in on it and the family is in on it, then the sheriff knows that whoever had her safe. So we're not going to expend resources and continue to search for her past day 2. We already got the word out. She's missing. Let's stop searching.
Hey.
And then the guys got freaked out by day 10 and go, let's drop her off in the desert somewhere. They probably tried to drop her at a bus bench, but too many streamers were out there. Oh crap, the sheriff said that. The sheriff said, just drop her off, bring her back, take her to a hospital, take her to a police station. Oh my god, the sheriff did say that. Okay, so the next question that I want to ask is, where is Annie and Tommaso? People are claiming that they're not at their house. Somebody even said that they were getting threats. Who would threaten them? The streamers are not going to threaten these people. We're trying to help them find their mom, and we want them to not be involved. We don't want them to, I know I don't want them to be guilty. I don't mind being wrong with these cards if it means they're not guilty. I really don't. I'm just learning these cards, you know? Where are they? Because I said before, I don't think Tommaso can teach again right now. These kids don't care. These little kids, they'll question you. Jory's a teacher and they ask you and they tell you their business. Their business, they question you. So they said ever since school closed, Annie and Tommaso has gone missing. So some people inferred that maybe they were arrested. Maybe they're detained. I don't think so. So did they go to Italy? Did they go? How am I gonna ask this?
Right, okay.
Wait, I'm almost done. It's not 2 minutes yet. You think I should pull tarot? Let's ask 5 cards. Where is Annie and Tommaso? Right? Are they okay? Are they just on vacation? Annie and Tommaso, where are you guys? Are you guys okay?
Yeah,
I want you guys to be safe, huh?
yeah, it's Santa Monica Beach sipping.
Oh God. Oh God. I'd love to be at Santa Monica Beach right now sipping, I don't drink margarita, but sipping something. I don't drink alcohol. That's what we don't see coming. First card, Page of Cups. This is about playful, imaginative, curious dreamer. Maybe that's their little kid. Their little kid's only 13. Maybe they're on vacation with him. Knight of Pentacles, practical, reliable, hardworking. That's not Tommaso. Who is that? Who is that person? Two of Pentacles, balance, multitasking, juggling. They're juggling something. They're juggling their freedom. Seven of Cups. We always get this when we read on the Nancy Guthrie case. Illusions, delusions. They might be right there in town. Somebody said they're staying at a ritzy hotel. Who's paying for that? Page of Pentacles, patience, waiting. They're waiting, contemplating. I don't think they went to Italy. I don't think they went to Italy. And then the Strength card. They're trying to gain some strength. I think they're there. I don't think they're locked up. Nothing here shows me that they're locked up. And I don't think that they've gone to Italy. I think they're stashed away at some hotel. And if somebody is threatening them, it's not us, the public. It's the people that are involved. The kidnappers. They're like, man, we have to go in hiding. We didn't get our Bitcoin. That guy, Derek Kalala, the one from California that reached out to Annie and Tommaso 2 times, called them and texted them and said, do you have the Bitcoin? We're waiting on our end. He never said nothing about no kidnapping. He never said nothing about Miss Nancy. He just asked them about a Bitcoin and said, we're waiting on our end. He goes to court, I think, on July 2nd. And I hear that he's changing his plea. At first, I think he's pleading not guilty. I don't know if he's going to plead guilty and get a deal. I don't want to read on that yet. I don't feel the vibe to read on that yet. Today is June the 20th. We're going to read on that maybe in the next few days. But the last question for the gush that I want to ask is, will Alex get an attorney? Alex is one of the streamers that got arrested twice. Once for being a public nuisance and supposedly throwing pee in public, but he did not. You know, we were watching the live stream, he did not. The next time he got arrested was for sitting there in front of Miss Nancy's house when nobody told him he couldn't sit there. No, they don't even want you to drive down the street, Joel. So Juice got enough money raised for him to hire an attorney to fight his citation, because those citations come with a minimum of 4 months in jail, a maximum of 1 year in jail, fines, and probation. Juice can't do that. He has a job as a physical therapist and he works for Uber Eats, so he needs to keep his record clean. So I pray for Juice that he gets a good attorney and he gets off. 857 Tucson, I think, is also trying to go in with an attorney, so they're doing a fundraiser for him.
I just think these kind of lies so much a rip-off, just to mess people up for what?
And for a misdemeanor like that,
so
Joe, it's
stupid.
$3,000 for the attorney if you don't go to court, and $5,000 if he has to go to court for you. And he's gonna have to go to court for Juice because Juice is not taking a settlement.
It's all about
Don't plead nolo. Don't ever plead nolo. And nolo means nolo contendere, meaning that I'm going to plead that I did it. Nolo.
I'm pleading for nothing that I don't
I'm not going to
do.
contest, huh?
I'm not going to plead for something that I don't.
No, they like to let you plead because they hang your freedom in front of you. If you plead and take this lesser charge, you can be free. But you're not really free because you're on a hook with probation, parole, and all that stuff costs money. You got to pay in to be on probation. You got to pay in to have the ankle bracelet. I had a friend who had to have an ankle bracelet while he was on trial for 3 years. They had to throw the case out several times. Eventually, he won his case, and he had to pay $1,000 a month to have that ankle bracelet on, or else he would be locked up. $1,000 a month or you're free. No, you don't get the money back. It's a third-party company that makes that money, but I'm sure they break off a piece to the jail or to the prison.
Yeah, when it comes to kind of thing, they want to get the money, just like
So is Alex going to get an attorney? Because I heard this morning on JLR that Alex is insisting that he's going to do pro se. I don't feel like he should do pro se because he not only has misdemeanors, he has a felony because they said he was resisting arrest when he wasn't, right? But I told you guys before, when it comes to law in America, it's about motions. Who bring the most motions and win the most motions is the one that wins the case. It's not who's guilty or who's innocent. And so I pray to God that Alex gets an attorney, because what's that old phrase, Joel? A person who has himself as an attorney has a fool for a person who represents himself in court has a fool for an attorney. Even attorneys don't represent them own selves. Okay? There? What we don't see coming? I'll put this on top, okay, Joe? So is Alex going to get an attorney? Will he stop playing this fool? I feel like he has Juanita, his friend, who's a lawyer but not an attorney. The difference is that she can practice law because she studied it and everything. She just didn't go take the test, the bar. So she would have to take the bar and then she would be classified as an attorney. But she doesn't want to take the bar because she doesn't want to play inside their game. She wants to play on the outside like Donat. So that's why she doesn't take the bar. She can pass because she's very smart. So I'm sure she's advising him. But Alex is a grown man at 54, and he will do what he wants to do. And I feel like Alex wants to go in court and talk and speak up for himself. But that's not how the game is played in America. Lawyers speak for you, and they do motions. They don't want to hear what you got to say. You never speak in court when you're on trial. You notice that?
Well, I got to speak. They want to make the money. So you.
But you notice when you're on trial for something, you don't ever speak? You have to decide that you want to go on the stand, or you have to be a witness, or the other side has to call you on a duress or something like that, right? This is the Knight of Swords. Knight of Swords is about ambition, assertive, driven to succeed. I'm going to give Alex the Knight of Swords from now on. When we read on Alex, he's going to be the Knight of Swords, because I think that's him right there. He's very ambitious, very assertive, and very driven to succeed. The Four of Cups, apathy, boredom, disconnected. He is bored with this foolishness, with this law thing. The Sun, this is a good card for Alex right there in the middle, that joy, success, vitality, warmth, happiness. He's going to win his case. But will he get somebody to help him? Resilience, persistence, boundaries, weary. He's very resilient. He's weary because I heard that somebody threatened his daughter. I don't know what the threat was, because his daughters are like, the youngest one's like 16, but they're all beautiful. They're always on the show with him. One of them have her own channel. When he went to jail, she was the one that contacted us to let us know, us the viewers, right? I don't know who got threatened or what the threat was, but I heard that somebody went on Juice's page last night, because he comes on wee hours of the morning, and they call him the N-word with the hard R. I was like, what? Three of Swords, heartbreak, sorrow, loss, betrayal. Alex, you don't watch my show, but I'm imploring you, my brother, please get an attorney. Get an attorney to help you. Listen to Juanita. If Juanita is telling you to get an attorney, she has your best interests at heart. Knight of Pentacles, practical, reliable, hardworking. This might be Juanita. Because even though these archetypes are like male or female, they don't have to be on male or female. Like a woman can be a Knight of Pentacles when you're reading tarot. He needs to get an attorney. This tells me that he wants to go in there and put everything out there and be transparent. He's all about transparency. But this Three of Swords, I don't like it for him. I don't like it for him. I want him to get an attorney. Father God, please convince Alex Zabel to hire an attorney. JLR and them are waiting to do the fundraiser for him so that he can hire an attorney to represent his interests so that he can be free. Father, I'm going to pull some cards right now to see what the Three of Swords mean. Pull 3 cards. What does it? Oh, crap. Yeah, he needs an attorney. Pronto. Pronto. The first card that comes up to clarify the Three of Swords is about the institution. It's about jail, prison. He can actually go to prison for this because he has a felony. And then this is a block. There's blocks going on in the thing. And then this is about the sight. This is about the cutting away at the bullcrap. He can go free. He can beat these charges, but he needs representation. So
I don't think he gonna get one. He's just gonna do it just like that.
I feel like he thinks when he goes for like the arraignment and stuff, he can go alone, right? Because the arraignment will tell you if when you go to the arraignment, they'll tell you if the case is dismissed or not, if they're going to proceed, and the judge is going to go, you're charged with this, and this, and we're going to proceed. How do you want to plead? And then he can say, I'm going to plead not guilty. And I feel like to that point, maybe he doesn't need an attorney. But for the rest of it, if he has to stand trial, he'll need an attorney. He'll need an attorney at that point. So I'm not going to get nervous, but that thing showed us. Like if I pull those cards for myself, even though I know this is for entertainment purposes only, I would take that serious. Right? Right? Joe's been with me long enough as I'm trying to learn these cards that he knows. He's like, let's pray. Let's change this. Right, baby? Thank you for coming with me. I love when you come on because I think you're so much fun. I like that you have your opinion and you are not afraid to state it. Like when you said earlier, they know.
Yeah, they know.
They know.
But like everything else, I mean, they're the law, so.
I had other questions on this that I asked before. One of them, was it a stranger? Was it family? Does Cameron know something? Will they find the perp? Was it for revenge? Was it for money? I think I asked all these on another video. I got to get a new piece of paper to write my questions on. So I'm going to go in now. It's nice and cold. Not even chilly, cold.
Exactly.
It's cold. We have to open the kitchen window from now, Joe, to let this cold get inside the house so the house won't get hot. All right, thank you for coming. Guys, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and all that good stuff. And welcome to all the new subscribers, Joe. I gone from like 24, 25 for the longest time. In this last month, I gained 10. I'm at 35 subscribers.
Oh, wow. Man.
Yes, 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 yes.
Bye-bye, people.